What's up, y'all? I'm back out here at the range, as you can see behind me, on another cold, cloudy morning. Temps are just barely breaking freezing right now. I think we're only supposed to get into the low mid 40s out here, and it's really humid, so it's pretty chilly out here today. One good thing is we're not supposed to have much breeze at all, so that'll help. One bad thing is we're pretty much going to be cloudy all day, so no sun out here to warm it up. But this is about what you can expect this time of year, so I'm going to make the most of it and get some testing done. We're going to start it out with some more good old 9mm. So I got the jelly contraption set up, ready to roll with a couple of chronos and 2 fresh blocks of gel. Now these are first time fresh right here, so they got a couple little waves in them that just are not possible to get out until the first remelt. So a little bit wavy, but you should get a really nice clear picture of what happens here. Of course, I'm using my heavy clothing barrier that's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got for this one here is another round that was sent to me in that batch by Alan. So again, big thanks to him for that. We got some more stuff from Steinel. Now, y'all know I've tested several different rounds in a few different calibers from Steinel in the past. Some with some good results, some with not very good results at all. Terrible results out of 1 or 2 if I'm remembering correctly. But we'll see what happens with this one. This time we've got a slow 9mm. We've got the 124 grain subcompact HP. Now, supposedly these are engineered and designed to be run from shorter barrels and still get you the penetration that you want and the expansion that you want. Now, obviously, y'all know my taste. I want the hot stuff. I want the energy way on up there. So this is lower energy wise than I would want to carry. But if it does get the penetration and expansion, I know some people are fans of the, lower recoil stuff, lower report, lower flash. So maybe this will do a good job for us. Now, the ballistics on this stuff is saying 960 feet per second, and that's from a 3-inch barrel. Here's a look at your cartridge, brass case with that solid copper expander. Now, this is a maker projectile. So that being the case, and you can see it there, it's got some real nice skives, and it's got that notch basically all the way around there to pretty much guarantee expansion at those lower velocities. So I've got some pretty good hopes that we'll see something good from this. Now, again, that velocity is saying from a 3-inch barrel, and both of these are actually a little longer than that. For the shortest one here, I've got my Canik Mete MC9 with the 3.1-inch barrel. So basically right there where they're getting that velocity from. And then for the longer one, I've got my G19 Gen 5 with the 4-inch barrel. A lot of people ask me about this G19 with no front serrations. This is just one of the older G19 Gen 5s that didn't have the front serrations, and also has that little half moon cut there on your mag well. So it is a Gen 5, just an older version. So even though, like I say, this is a little bit lighter than I like my 9mm to be, I suspect we're going to see some good stuff just because of that projectile. Well, let's get it all set up and find out what happens. All right, let's see what kind of numbers we get from these slow pokes. I'm going to do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with this MC9 first. Now, you're going to see multiple velocities with this radar here. The large numbers at the muzzle, and then you'll see 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where my gel is here at 10 feet. And then I've got the other set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Now, remember, they're saying 960 from a 3-inch. This is 3.1, so we should see that 960 if they're being honest about it. Definitely light recoil. 1049, 1041, 1037, 1032, and 1005. So definitely above that 960 and a little faster than I thought it would be moving. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average there was actually 1033 feet per second. We did have an extreme spread of 43 with a 16.5 standard deviation. Now, I noticed it was actually really nice and consistent until that last round that was 1005. So I'd say this is some pretty consistent stuff. I don't know what happened with that last round. Take that for what it's worth. But 1033, again, that's right much more than the 960 they're claiming from a 3-inch, but let's reset it and see what the G19 does. All right, let's see what we get from this 4-inch G19. Ooh, very light out of this. 1075, very light recoil, and 1040, 1028, 1025, And 1,056, so definitely really light recoiling. Let's check out this average. All right, we did speed it up some, but not a whole lot. Obviously, we're only talking about less than an inch more barrel. Our 5-round average that time was 1,045 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 50 with a 20.8 standard deviation, so 1,045 right there. And if you remember, I had the 3.1 inch. It was 1,033, so you're only talking about, what, 12 feet per second difference. That's well within the extreme spread and standard deviation and everything right there. So virtually the same velocity. Obviously, I think we can agree that across the board that G19 is giving it a little bit more velocity, but not a whole lot. So all that being said, I was pretty confident even at the 960 advertised velocity with those projectiles that we were going to see some good performance in the gel. And now I'm pretty much positive that we will, but let's get it all set up. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's these slow pokes ain't all that slow jelly time. We'll put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with this MC9 first. Again, I'm pretty confident we're gonna see some good performance from both of these right here. All right, that should have been a good one right there. Let me go check it out. All right, y'all, that's actually what I was hoping we wouldn't see right there. I kind of had a little bit of a feeling that might happen just looking at that projectile, the way it was scored like it is. Apparently, they've got that thing designed for absolute maximum expansion at all costs. And this time, I think it cost it as far as the penetration. You'll see here in a second. But let's see what this G19 does. I suspect we're going to get pretty much the same thing here. All right, that should be another good one. Let's go check these things out. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. Pretty much the same exact performance from both of these rounds. Again, that's not really surprising because we're only talking about less than an inch of barrel length difference. So no surprise we got the same performance here. And again, it's not really my cup of tea. Now, I wouldn't call this bad performance, just not what I'm personally looking for. I know a lot of people will probably like something like this though. So first, the one on the top there, that's the one from the MC9, comes in here, immediate expansion. Absolutely no doubt about it. Nice spiral looking action there because of those expanded pedals. You can see it travels through the block here. This one goes, I'm gonna say it's a little over halfway, so you're probably looking at 10 inches max out of this right here, but some incredible expansion. And that's my problem with these. And not just these, but all of these just maximum expansion rounds. Yeah, they get some incredible expansion, but you're usually lacking on the penetration. And if the FBI standard is what you go by, not saying that that's what you should go by, but if that's what you go by, this falls short of that FBI standard. But anyway, up underneath that one, of course, that's the one from the G19. Again, basically the same kind of thing here. It looks a little bit larger as far as the disruption, but I think that's just the direction you're looking at it, because this may have been moving the same velocity or maybe even a little tiny bit slower. I'll have to look back at it. But again, massive energy transfer just really soon here, and you suffer from the penetration. Again, these are exactly the same. I mean, I would have to get out of calipers and just get right down to the 10th or 100th of an inch to get a difference right here. They are exactly the same, and they look pretty much exactly the same as far as expansion also. So as far as the penetration on them, the one on the top here from the MC9 is exactly 10 1/4 inches, so about what I figured, which means the one down there on the bottom, yeah, again, exactly 10 1/4 inches for both of those, which, like I say, if the FBI standard is what you're going by, those fall short of the 12-inch minimum. And here's your close-up look at them. Again, very impressive as far as the really early energy transfer and that expansion. You can see both of them look nearly identical as far as the disruption, and both of them look pretty much exactly the same on that expansion. From the top here, pretty much the same story. It's a little bit tricky because I just about got them right on top of each other, but you can see there, just depending on the angle you look at them from, they look just about identical. All right, let's check out these projectiles, y'all. Really, really impressive looking stuff, just like any copper expanders are. That's one thing, I mention it every time, but it's very, very cool seeing these copper expanders expanded like they're supposed to. And these definitely did. They got all the expansion right here, buddy. Now, they definitely didn't overexpand, you can see, so these could be pushed faster. And when you do push them faster, you get the extra penetration. Like I mentioned, there's a couple of rounds I've tested before, so absolutely no doubt you got all the expansion right here, but again, it costs you in the penetration department. But let's get some numbers on them and see what we got. As far as the weight, they're supposed to be 124. This one from the MC9 is 124.0, so right on the money right there. This one from the G19 is 124.2, so both of them right where they're supposed to be as far as weight. And as far as the size, I got a feeling they're gonna be basically the same. This one here from the MC9, you got 871 and 877, so massive expansion right there. And then from the G19, you got 876 and 879. So once again, just incredibly nice, even expansion from both of those. And there you go, y'all, the 124 grain subcompact HP from Steinel. Definitely got the expansion right here. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Once you get a look at these projectiles though, you could pretty much tell you're going to get the expansion. Now, I can't say that these performed as they claimed, because I mean, they didn't meet the standard right here. They didn't meet that FBI standard. Now, I have to look back and see if they claim to meet an FBI standard. Maybe they don't claim that. So in that case, I'd have to take that back. But if they're claiming to meet some type of FBI ballistic standard, these fell short of the penetration, and it's because of the lack of velocity. So, you know, if this is what you're looking for, it's fine not having that velocity, because you got some really, really nice, light, manageable recoil. And again, like I always talk about, if you put these in the right place, they're going to most likely get their job done. But I personally just like to hedge my bets a little bit and have that extra penetration with that extra little bit of velocity and energy. All right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap it up right there for a pretty interesting 9mm test to start out the day. Again, not really the kind of performance that I personally look for in a 9mm. It was surprising though to see it a good bit faster as far as velocity than what the box was claiming, even out of that 3.1-inch barrel. Y'all know I like stuff a lot spicier than this personally, and there's reasons for that. I mean, you can see right here, this fell short on the penetration, and that's partly because of the lack of velocity. If you got this stuff moving faster, you would probably expand those pedals back further and get that penetration that you need. Not to mention, I've talked about in the past plenty of times that I just want a certain amount of energy. You can argue all you want that the energy doesn't matter, but I just certainly have a different opinion on that. There's no way you're going to tell me that 200 foot-pounds versus 400 foot-pounds is going to give you the same results. But again, if this is the kind of thing that you're looking for, massive expansion with a little bit lack of penetration and very, very low recoil, I mean, these will do that job. But for those of y'all who just want me to be completely blunt about everything, I definitely do not think you should go out and get these rounds. And anybody, I don't think anybody should go out and get these rounds, because there are far better choices out there. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments. Do any of y'all out there actually carry these subcompact 9mm from Steinel? If you do, what do you carry it in? Do you carry something else from Steinel? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you enjoyed the video, take a second, if you would, and hit that thumbs up button. If you're subscribed to the channel and you think you're supposed to be subscribed, definitely double check and make sure you haven't been unsubscribed, and make sure you've got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload stuff. If you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links I've got in the video description. Anything you pick up from down there helps out the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Big thanks as always to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. Got a couple more really interesting tests planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for those. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.